Hey, so before you watch this video, did you know that we have a new show called Ask Ulises? Hashtag Ask Ulises, where we answer your health questions, or more specifically, my dad answers your questions. So if you have a health questions, whether it's regarding mental health, physical health, questions regarding relationships, you can go on social media and ask your question using the hashtag Ask Ulises. Or you can send us an email at askulises.com and we'll create videos of my dad answering those questions. Now, on to the video.
Awesome. Okay, well, welcome. My name is Rebekah, and I am going to be interviewing my dad, Ulises Balanzedegi. Thank you for agreeing to be here today.
Nice to be here with you guys.
And today we're going to be talking about a couple of questions, or rather a couple of topics that a lot of college students face. I myself am a college student, as you can tell from my wonderful t-shirt, and I've heard a lot of different things around the hallway and classrooms that have been some big struggles for my peers. And so we're just going to pick my dad's brain today and see what he has to say. So, Dad, I have here just a couple questions. And so I and all of us would like to know, what are some things that some college students can do if they are struggling with test anxiety? As you know, test anxiety is a really hard thing. Well, for those of you at home, it makes it really hard to focus, makes it hard to study, and can just last for a very, very long time. So what are some tips that you have for someone who may be starting to feel that during exam day or building up to it?
Yeah, when we are informed that there is a scheduled exam, it is a normal thing that the stress mechanism turns on. And it does it not for a long period of time. It's just a short spark, certain chemicals. That it puts you into a position of trying to determine if you're prepared or not. And if it's not, then it moves you into the next phase, which is, set a time to study and be sure that you're diligent and all that kind of things. So really, this system, it works very well. Unfortunately, the anxiety can be created if the person, it doesn't move into producing the action necessary. So a person could be entertaining thoughts, like saying, "Oh my goodness, no, I'm not prepared. I don't have the time. I'm foolish. I'm stupid." Or I just remember my grades are not good from last year, or this teacher is going to probably flag me, no? Or maybe I think that I don't have enough help or resources. So as you start entertaining the thoughts, that's when the problem starts. So the chemicals, they're actually going to be increasing these chemicals, which now can affect the brain, and it can affect the production of benzodiazepines. It's a chemical that helps you to reduce this anxiety, potential anxiety. So, and that has to do with stress, stress chemicals and hormones that do that. Now, in order for the brain to work, and this is the problem, when these chemicals that the brain produces, they're not there, to produce it, because all the hormones are really inhibiting, the ability for the brain to produce the chemical. Then it's hard for our brain to work properly, because I need few things to really accomplish my mission. My mission is to be in school, get these grades, and get to the next class, pass this class. So the brain will need to do one thing. Will need to do, the first thing is to inhibit things that are not relevant, to whatever, has to do with, so it doesn't interfere with my mission, study. So there has to be inhibition of those information, And it takes some of the neurotransmitters to do that. And also the brain has to be really focused on what's relevant. What is relevant? Okay, for example, the relevant thing is I have to study, this class. And the less relevant is to worry about the money I don't have, because this is become relevant. So with those components, then, if there is no stress chemicals in the brain, then now, the brain can do what it knows how to do well, and it's brain working memory. See, the working memory allows me to go from point A to B, and without the little steps, along the way. So this is the one problem that really is happening. So, of course, I as I'm building this network of information without, I can't, I don't know how to do it. I don't have the resources. It's too late. It's too far ahead. So the brain doesn't work well. So the brain is just, in order to work well, you have to have these three things. Inhibition of things that are not relevant at the moment. Okay, get the relevant information at the moment because we have the memories, and then the working memory to help me to go through all the steps. From deciding at what time I'm going to study, okay, to how to pull the books out of the shelf, and but that's not the end. Okay, because the brain will need nutrition, will need oxygen. You need to sleep well. If you don't have enough hours sleep, then there's distraction. With the hormones that helps me to have the right mood to really sit there for an hour and study and practice and do whatever I need. So I need all those things, but I also need connection. So in order for the brain to work well, I need to be connected with somebody else. If I'm isolated, from peers, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult, because I don't have all the resources to understand everything. Even if I am very bright, smart, I still need to get the resources from the outside. And the outside is, my friend, from school, or maybe, my teacher who can answer questions, or maybe, Google it, no? You go out there in the computer and start looking for information that helps you to rely, do your learning process. So that's the biggest problem. That's what happened with, inside of the camp due to exam that's coming up. It becomes a circuitry that we built. So, and some of the students, they're being affected by this, and then of course, it's a problem that will continue even after you finish your college degree.
And if you're okay if I interrupt you, you mentioned that something about thoughts, that thinking or saying to yourself, I can't do this, I'm just dumb, there's no way I'm going to pass this exam. So what would your advice be to someone who maybe is starting to think that way? How would you undo that?
Well, first, I need to have my body to be relaxed and calm. Okay, if I feel have these strong emotions, like feeling insecure, or I'm afraid I'm not gonna make it, or I'm afraid that I'm not going to really show to my parents that I'm a really good student, or I'm afraid of losing, my position, around my peers, about my abilities to do something. So those fears, produce more stress hormones. So I had to do something to get my body to get to the level, the chemical level that allows me to be calm. Okay, and this, is actually important. And there is some tips that we can do. So some of the tips is you feel this way, you breathe. No, it's a practice that is really easy to do. You just breathe.
Do you have any specific breathing exercises that you could recommend?
Yeah, there's one that is really effective. There's thousands of people using it, and millions around, thousands that we even teach to millions around the world. It says you do take time. You gotta be in a sitting position that is relaxing.
Okay, so like that.
So you can do it in the car, can do it in your home, whatever you are. And then you close your eyes, and then you breathe. Take some time. You're gonna have to take like 4 seconds.
To breathe in.
You breathe in, and then hold the oxygen into your lungs, okay, for a few seconds, about 6 seconds. So hold it there, and then, exhale slowly, do it in about probably 5-6 seconds. So repeat this 10 times, okay. When you do it, be sure that you focus on, the movement of your muscles in your thorax. Okay? The diaphragm movement. You can just feel it. So if your mind, gets some thoughts come in, just, say to yourself, this is not important to me now. I'll take care of that thought later. And then I go back and refocus on, being present when I'm really doing this exercise. That will help to reduce cortisol, which is the hormone that creates this problem if it's in excess in our bloodstream. So you're going to regulate stress hormones by doing this. And it's a good practice to do.
Okay, so I guess maybe just to recap, just breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your air in for about 5-6 seconds, then exhale for about 6-7 seconds.
Yeah, slowly.
And just focus on that sensation of breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And until you can do that as many times as you want, until you probably feel your mind feels a little clearer.
Yeah, and if we already have a lot of thoughts that are negative or less pleasant, and if it comes to your mind, just don't fight it and think, oh, I'm a loser, I cannot do this. Well, how come these thoughts are just pumping into my brain? Okay, so just observe it. Let's say I worry about my mom, or worry about my car, and just observe the thought and just say, oh, I don't need this now. I'll deal with that later. And then you go back to, focusing on what you're doing. So that's a good way to start. And, your physiology, it will help you. Then, of course, at that moment, there's a good chance that you will feel a little better. So the fact that you feel better doesn't mean that you're okay yet. So you take the opportunity now to let the working memory work. And let move into what you feel inspired to do. If it's to take the notebook and put the schedule of the time that you're going to study, or who are my resources? Okay. Oh, I know Rebekah, and she's good, and she's my friend. I probably choose to call her. Hey, Rebekah, by the way, okay, we have this test. Where are you going to study? Can I join you? Or, I have some questions, So let's be sure that we use the resources that are outside. Because, when somebody has resources, for the most part, everybody want to help. Because when we participate each other in contributing, the other party also benefits. So this is a very interesting way to do things, right? If I don't take action right away when I'm feeling better, then of course these overwhelming, maps that we have about school and students and exams comes back again, and you can also fall back again into the same anxiety mode.
Okay. Awesome. So just like you were saying, if this is not on the exam day, like you're not in the exam, then once your mind is clear, just go and make a plan, go outside and have people help you. Make sure that you think you mentioned earlier also to just try to eat as healthy as you can, try to get some rest, and
avoid starting late. Now, that's the biggest mistake you can make. The best thing is go to sleep early, wake up early, your brain will work better. Mm-hmm. And if because if you go to there's students that they just spend the night studying, brain won't. It's impossible to really capture all the information if your circadian is being off, because when you're sleeping, at nighttime your brain has produced melatonin, which is hormones that actually it helps you to sleeping. So if you're forcing the melatonin to be suppressed, so now it will take you much more time to understand what you're studying. So the best thing is to not study at nighttime. Just, by 9:30, 10, just close the books and do what you need to do, get your pajama and go to bed, and wake up at 5 if you have to study.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. We're going to move on to the next question for the time, and it is this. So, we've all heard about burnout, which has some very similar effects to some test anxiety or anxiety in general, which is just kind of just feeling very low having very low energy and not being able to process things too much. It's hard. It makes it hard to learn. You have very low. You can even have low self-esteem, just low motivation just to keep doing things. I myself have had that before, not necessarily in college, but in high school. But Dad, what are some tips that you have for a student who maybe right now is feeling like that burnout crisis, who is not sure what to do?
First, let me explain you what it comes from. Why the burnout happened. The burnout when you get to the point, you actually, the motivation has to do a lot with hormones, has to do a lot with stress hormones. For the most part, we get to the point where we are actually running. It's like we're running. We need to do this, we need to do that. And I'm really all the time trying to move towards everything. And I mean, you can do it because when you have intention to do things, your brain sends signals to produce adrenaline, and then you have the energy to do it. So the problem with is hyperactivity in the brain, that it moves you to be everywhere all the time and trying to be exact and get this done and help here and do that. So doing too much, it affects you. Eventually, there's going to be a disruption in the production of hormones that is going to put you off balance. So when you feel you have a bad mood, that's hormone imbalance. Okay, you have low energy, it's a hormone imbalance. That comes because of stress. Now, you might say, well, but that person doesn't seem to be stressed out. She's like so excited, smiling, and doing a lot of things. Okay, it's a less stress there. So the mind is moving so fast. I'm planning what I'm doing in 30 minutes and 1 hour and 2 hours. And then things are just moving too fast. It's like if I'm running from something. I got to accomplish this and accomplish that. So that is created by stress. So how we do that? It could be in different ways. I can be burned out at work. I'm so insecure, okay, in certain ways. I don't respect the boundaries, and I want to please everybody at work. And I'm running all day. I stay, hours working. I can do that at school too. I can do that at home. So it produces this overproduction of stress hormones that affect our hormonal system. After 2 years or 6 months or 3 months, I'm going through all this, I'm going to feel exhausted. I won't enjoy anymore. See, and of course, because I had a habitual way of doing things, I will continue doing all these good things, but I won't enjoy it. And that's sad, because life experience is about learning through mistakes and learning, anything new. But they got to be their emotions, and there's also pleasure centers in the brain that it produces chemicals that it made me to want to continue with the task. Whatever it might be, my mission, no? Cooking or learning how to make new recipes or record or have an interview. So, and these pleasure centers, they're being directed. So I'm doing the right things and the good things, but I enjoy. Of course, I won't tell anybody. And this is the problem with people that get burnout. They don't talk about their emotions. They don't talk about their feel. And at the time they are like this, they feel like so like, I don't taste the flavor of life. Okay? And of course, I'm going to explode somewhere somehow. But for the most part, I won't to most people, because I'm afraid to tell people, how I feel, because I might think they might judge me, or I might feel that I might broke them, or maybe I think they're fragile and I don't want to share what happened to me. And I'll continue running until I get sick, and I might have infections continuously, or may end up with some other sickness, problem with sleeping eventually. Okay, so what to do? Again, if you're running, you gotta stop. Just stop. Okay. Now, but in your mind, you probably have all this information, and you probably think you are creating happiness, but the fruits are not happiness. So that means that your model to get things done are wrong. If you're not happy, okay, that means that the fruits are there. That means something is wrong in the way how you are modeling, the way how you're dealing with things, whether at school or work. And this burnout is a result of that. So if you're running, then you gotta slow down. Okay, you have to remember that you don't have to please everyone, and you don't have to do everything perfect, and you don't have to get the next thing in your agenda. Okay, it's okay. No, there are some things that I have to be left for somebody else. Okay, I focus on the things that are more important. There's things that are good, they're better than the best. You go for the best. Okay, and you prioritize. And the best not necessarily means what is coming from a mind that's competitive. The best is something that's for me. See, for me it's a school, then I focus on my school, and it's your marriage, it's your spouse, and your children. And of course, I can help this place, but maybe this time I have to say no, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's okay, say no. And if you learn how to say no, that doesn't mean that you are hurting, or you are not Christian, or you are not a good human being. Okay, sometimes saying no it's critical because by saying no, you actually are protecting your own boundaries, you're protecting your emotions, you're protecting your weaknesses, you're protecting yourself. And when you do this, you help others. You become a better human being. You become more lovable, more compassionate. Okay. Then if I'm running and I'm saying yes to everything, of course I'm gonna get hurt, and eventually I'm gonna hurt people that are around me because I go into my mission, whatever it is, helping or running or whatever. Okay, but I'm gonna hurt people around me. I'm gonna kick the dog when I get home, and I'm gonna be as gentle.
Don't do that.
So, practices. How I slow down if I've really been running for years. Okay, I'm always thinking in the future and what I'm gonna do in tomorrow, in a week, in 3 years. Of course, you got a plan. Do your plans. Put your schedule, set your goal. That's a very good thing. Structure how you're gonna get there, but don't think about your goal. Don't marry with your goal. You don't have to marry because you got to be flexible. See, your goal never will change, whatever good is, if it's a worthwhile goal. But you have to adjust to be flexible. For the most part, when we are burned out, it is because we want to be sure that there's no uncertainty in our life. And that is not a good thing, because uncertainty is what it helps. I got things in my mind, in my heart that I have to change. And tomorrow, something will happen, unexpected, that is going to make me slow down. And if I sit and listen and pay attention and see what is it, the teaching that comes through all this new experience, I can look inside and make the changes. But if I'm running, I will never see the little details. So stop, get the priorities, go for the best. And the best thing is, beside God is your spouse that you marry, and your children, your kids, and your family, and of course you got your work. You got to take care of that to support your family, and you got to go to school to improve your life and provide in the future better than now. So that's priority. And of course, you got to service others, and but just be sure that you are on balance. Create the balance in your life. Now, here's a technique that you can do if you want me to teach him a technique.
That would be fantastic.
Learning to be present is a very difficult thing, okay? And basically it's important. Life, it's a wonderful thing for all of us. And life provides us experiences. And every experience is different. So we have to learn to be there. See, if I'm thinking and the money I have to pay in an hour or 3 hours while I'm talking right now, while I'm doing something, is not a good thing. So when you're doing, here's a technique. See, if you do the dishes, you're going to start practicing this way, okay? You turn the water, on the faucet, and start feeling the water that is touching your skin. So we have senses, okay, that are being influenced, stimulated by the external world. Be sure that you are aware of what's happening. So feel the water, okay? If you're holding a dish, feel it. You got sensors, okay, that can feel the texture. See, if you're using the soap, be sure that you feel it. So you're gonna be present and do this, and do your dishes, and then go to the next thing, And then if you are walking to the car, be aware of that. This is just a practice. No, be aware that you're walking to the car, not trying to feel your muscles. You hear the sound of the bird, listen to it. So there's sensors there. So just pay attention. At the same time, you can also be aware of the smell that's around you. So, and if you are talking to somebody, be sure that you trying to be present, trying to understand, what is the feeling behind, what kind of feelings are that being expressed through the vocal cord of the other individual, because we might be hearing the words only, but we don't even know what really is the real message. So this requires a little bit of practice, but it's an amazing way to be there. So of course, I still, my goals are there in the future and in an hour, and I just follow my schedule, okay, that I set it up early, but I don't have to be thinking. If you think too much, then you're gonna really get burned out.
Okay, so I actually have a question about this sensory exercise. Is this something that, if, let's say someone, maybe that's a really, really strong habit that they have, thinking a lot about what they're about to do, or think that they're going to do in 5 hours, and so let's say it's 9 a.m., would you recommend just starting maybe a couple of times a day and then moving it forward to maybe more often throughout the day so it doesn't become super overwhelming?
Or just do the little things, okay? For example, there are little things. This doesn't require a lot of time. It's just, if you sit in the car and you take the wheels, just feel the wheels. That's all you do, okay? And then as you are, turning the key to the car, just feel the texture of the keys. And as your car move and you start seeing, plants and birds and other cars, just be there observing. Don't think, this plant is too big, that plant is beautiful, this is not beautiful, this car is red or color. Just observe, observe it and do a little practice along the way. So, and you can do little things. For those that they use a lot of their left brain, as they say, you might be calculating and doing analysis. Don't do that. You don't have to analyze. You don't have to, have a perfect plan. Let this flow along the way. So just be there, like you and I, See, I'm here, okay, and at the same time, I can feel the people in the audience, okay. I don't know who is going to be watching this, so I need to observe what I'm saying, because I need to know how I feel to the same time. So as I'm speaking, because I done, some of this practice, I can hear my voice, I can see your face. So through my visual sensors, I just feel, no judgment. Okay, she's tweaking her eye, not tweaking her eye, she's smiling or not. So I let the external environment influence me. If you smile, then you influence me, and as you observe the smile. And then if I learn to do this, eventually there's going to be impressions that come from within, okay, that it makes me respond, okay. And I don't have to be, as I say, analyzing your smile or why she's not smile or she has a big smile or smile. It's just, we don't have to do this, okay. We're just there, okay, observing. And by observing and by doing this, we avoid to compare, okay. I mean, we label a lot of things, and this is good, to know when between this street and that street, the name I want my son and the other son. It's good to have some label, but when we under that stress, we label a lot of things. We just, compare things, and that creates some chaos. So let's do a little practice, do it all the time. I'm sitting now, I can feel, the pressure, the tissues, in my balance against, the chair. So, and I don't make any judgment. Oh, it hurts. Oh, I've been here too long. No, it's just part of the whole system outside of me that is really interacting with me. Okay, and throughout these little things, like for example, if I see a tree, there's a creation. There's interacting with me. So there's a lot of spiritual opportunities to be. I'm talking to my wife. I hear her voice, trying to feel what she feels. I also feel my emotions, and if I say something, I can hear my voice, okay? But it takes a little practice. If you do this, eventually you can actually enjoy life, and you can be present. So, and it doesn't matter what is happening today, okay? If we're in the stress and something not too good, not a good experience comes today, then it becomes so terrible. So the stress mechanism goes up, and then we feel, oh my goodness, okay, if I don't control this right now, it's gonna be out of control. And then, I start trying to manipulate other people, control everything outside me. And I don't have to do this, because the only one that has control over everything outside me is God. And at the same time, I have control over myself. And this is something that I really can do. I can observe, I can really feel, I can see my emotions, I can respond, okay? I can be influenced by the other person and receive the goodness of other people. But if my mind is so much, busy, noisy, how could I? If I'm too worried thinking of somebody else's emotion, how could I feel my emotions? How could I know if there's something to fix in me? It'll be impossible because my mind is so much, trying to fix everything outside me and be sure that everything is okay. That can get me to burnout.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Just to do like a little mini recap, you were saying we can do that sensory exercise to try to not be thinking too much, but just to simply enjoy the things that are around you. And you also mentioned just be flexible with your schedule. If you're currently having burnout, you can just take the time to stop, give yourself a breather, reanalyze your priorities, keep your goals, but just like my dad was saying, just be flexible with those goals and how you're going to, the plan to achieve them, because there are things that happen throughout the day that we cannot control.
And one comment here, in life we're learning, but there's a time to end certain things. Like, for example, I get married, I end, to be a son in a part of family. Now I have a family and I have my extended family. So I need to end to begin something. At the same time that I stay connected with my extended family.
Right.
So sometimes we want to have everything not ending. So there are things that have to end, take the priority, and the things that have to end, just let it go. And nothing will happen, everything will be great.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen. We're going to try to have more videos out for you. You can leave in the comments any other questions that you have. You can even use the hashtag #AskUlises so he can also answer those questions in a different video for later. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.